So today I'm going to present some results of my PhD, so not everything, but a little bit. So I'm going to talk about the effect of surface processes on the fold development during the development of fold on thrust belt, and I work mainly using numerical model. So first, for the background, so tectonics and surface processes are not like independent process, but they strongly influence each other. So during orogenic growth, we have like formation of relief, which increase the local slope, which triggers erosion, and it's also control the basin the basin geometry, which would be where the sediment would deposit. The feedback erosion is unloading the lithospheric plate, which creates some isostatic rebound and some uplift in the growing erosion. And also we have like sediment loading in the sediment basin. So this interaction between surface processes and tectonic has been widely studied using analog and numerical model of accretionary prism. So as an example, in analog model, we see that when we increase erosion, we actually reduce the width of the accretionary prism. We also reduce the number of thrusts in the prism, and the exhumation paths tend to be steeper. In the case of numerical models, so one example was actually to see that asymmetric exhumation in an orogen could actually be correlated with the variation of precipitation in this orogen. So for example, in the case of the Southern Alps, we have like, if we take this transect here, we see that in the northwest of the island, we actually at the surface, we have higher metamorphic grade rocks which are exposed than the southeast. And this is also, it's actually correlated with a high precipitation rate in this area. So many studies have been done using brittle deformation, but there is little study on the interaction between surface processes and folding, and most of the studies that actually exist remain at the scale of the fold. So in our work, we address the following question: how surface processes could actually influence the fold pattern during the development of a fold and thrust belt. So as erosion and tectonics interaction are actually 3D processes, we have used a 3D numerical model developed by Boris Kos and co-worker, which take into consideration the variation of viscosity and density in the upper crust that we have coupled to a landscape evolution model. So the landscape evolution model considers sedimentation and erosion, and we consider also both fluvial and heat slope processes. So our initial setup is actually based on a previous study proposed by Yamato and co-worker, and also we actually use as an analog model. As a natural analog, we use Zagros folded belt, where the sedimentary cover is mainly folded and is decoupled from the basement thanks to the Hormuz salt. So we do not aim to reproduce exactly what's happening in the Zagros, because our code does not allow it. But we take into consideration some characteristics, such as the characteristic wavelengths around 15 kilometers, and the deformation style mainly dominated by fold. And for this, it was shown using 2D numerical model that we should consider intermediate weak layer in the stratigraphy to obtain this fold. So our setup is built, it's a block of 100 by 100 by 10 kilometers with 7 alternating weak and strong layers that rest over a basal salt detachment of 3 kilometers. We apply compression in the y direction. We prescribe some random noise at the salt sediment interface in order to initiate folding. And one side of the model can be uplifted in order to have a drainage network that develops faster. Also, we prescribe some random noise at the surface for river incision. Our model is the setup slightly differs to the one of Yamato and also the stratigraphy, because we use different rheological law, and in order to fit the 15 kilometers of wavelength, we had to modify a little bit our setup. So first we run a simulation without surface processes model. We have no slope as well in the model. And this is what we obtain So we have, for low resolution, of course, we have 3 main quasi-cylindrical folds that develop. And when we add erosion on top of it, without prescribing any slope, we don't see much difference, actually. The fold location are exactly at the same place. It's slightly enhanced, and here it seems that maybe between 12.5 and 18% of shortening, we have probably some buckling occur maybe a little bit earlier in the case of erosion. So now we have investigated systematically 2 main parameters that could influence the efficiency of the surface processes, which was the fluvial incision, so in the y-axis, and the regional slope. So in the case when we have no slope, we see that the fold develops exactly at the same place, because erosion cannot actually be efficient unless we have topography already existing. So then we prescribe a slope, and we see that when we increase actually the slope, even without increasing fluvial incision, we actually have a change in the folding pattern, which is already quite different. And locally, if we look a bit more in detail, we see that with increasing incision, some of the features are not necessarily preserved, like the triple linkage in the case of no to little incision, but in the case of really intensive incision, we don't see this feature anymore. And overall, the fold with increasing the regional slope, we tend to have more cylindrical fold, and also the amplification is higher. So if we look at this vertical section, what we see here, so we see the amplification of the fold with increasing regional slope, and we see also here, if we take the interface between the salt and the sediment, we see here it's a bit higher, which tends to show that surface process, well, sedimentation and erosion tends to enhance fold growth and exhumation of rocks, which we already knew. And so we realized a setup with a larger domain and a larger resolution, because in order to have more fold and more 3-dimensional fold. And so in this case, we have the same erosion condition, same fluvial erosion and slope. Same erosion. But we just change the slope, actually. And we see that with a higher slope, we have actually the same conclusion that with the low-resolution model, that folds tend to be much more cylindrical and develop also primarily at the front of the compression. And so this model were actually done when surface processes occur together with folding. And now the question was, okay, what happens if we actually have a drainage network which is already in place when we start deforming our model? And we realized we keep the same erosion conditions, so same slope and same river incision, and we see that, so this model here is the one with pre-existing drainage network, and in this case we have the drainage network was not in place. And we see that actually we have buckling much earlier than in the case where surface processes occur with deformation. So if we look also at the vertical section, it's also even stronger if we look at the amplification of the fold. And looking for the exhumation of rocks, so the rocks that are outcropping after 27% of shortening in the case of a pre-existing drainage network are actually we have deeper rock which are exhumed. So to conclude, surface processes rather have a minor effect on the folding pattern, which is actually mainly governed by the initial perturbation at the salt-sediment interface. However, they can strongly modify the topography, and this can amplify the initial perturbation needed for folding. It also somehow still enhances the fold growth by gravity. But the location of fold is not strongly governed by the surface processes, mainly because if we just go back to this slide, what happened is in our model, the folds start to develop at the front of the compression. So the drainage network gets actually very quickly deflected, and it does not have the capacity to enhance and to cut through the anticline. The reason for what we observe this is actually that when we add a regional slope to the model, we introduce some variation in thickness in the upper layer, and as a result, fold would tend to grow where the thickness is smaller. So we can apply our model to the Zagros fold and thrust belt when we see that at the front we have some very long anticline with some smaller 3D fold in the fold and thrust belt. And that would suggest that there was some initial topography present and is consistent with some basement shortening in the area. Voilà.
Thank you, Marine. Any question? No?
Todos.
Marina, in your drainage network model, apparently you do not develop long, kind of powerful channels, and it's and the reason for this is that your the surface processes model, which is guilty for that, or it's just condition at which rivers develop in your case.
There is three things. I guess it's because the fold developed like at first at the front of the compression, so this already like kind of reduce the efficiency of the drainage network. I use a transport limited model for, so it's already not as probably not as efficient as a stream power model, and also it's come from the boundary conditions which are applied in the mechanical model, because even if at each between each mechanical time step you actually update your topography, so you don't have like a fixed base level, which if you add this, I guess it would flow through, which could be used as a setup like what Jonas did with your code, like where you actually have a backstop with something similar to the analog model, where fold develop at the not at the front but at the back, and then it could actually, because you would increase your slope, so you would have more power to insist through the growing anticline.
Yeah, and if you compare your simulated network with what is observed in the region, do they compare, or for some model, do they compare for some model and for some other less? So what do you see?
Well, the more or less, well, if you see the small development, well, if you come back to the high resolution model, what you see is like you have, well, we have like, we don't see like some really like, sometimes in the Zagros you have this long river which goes through the anticline, well, not through, but around the anticline, and which sometimes cut here. I don't observe that here, but I have actually observed it in my code just when I prescribe a kinematic model, because I fixed actually the base level, and this I can see it actually. But in this case, where I have pure shear condition for the mechanical code, I don't think it's, and also it's affected by gravity, so you would see that you would develop fold in the, like if you look at the velocity, the surface velocity, you have negative velocity here, which are really strong, and positive here. So you have some flow which is actually due to the gravity, which makes that, I would say in this kind of model, it would be directly deflected, so you won't have any stream power.